All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for
Spice and Wolf, episode 24. Fleeing the city.
Fleeing the town.
The town, right. Yeah, this is not a city.
This is not a city. We have a very small town situation here where the big city is coming in with their muscle, their threats, and their economic
leverage, basically.
Leverage, yeah.
Yeah, and okay,
So we're leaving.
We're leaving.
And I'm surprised we're leaving because, one, it doesn't feel like it fits the pattern of this show. But then two, so then you just let your reputation just get tanked, Lawrence?
Right, like this is the kind of thing where I would almost expect the episode to start with some sort of like Attack on Titan flashback of like, all right, but what the real plan is that we actually have a thing that we're going to do that makes it so that the reputation won't be tanked, or I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll see.
But either way, them leaving is going to stir up some things. And I also would just like to see two couples, or not couples that are totally couples, you know, just kind of learning from each other over the course of maybe a little bit of some travel time and coming through all this here. But yeah, so this is going to be the resolution of the arc, which may be the next episode, the last episode of the season, to be like a general, like, final one to transition into whatever's next. That'd be great. But the title of this episode gave some pause to me.
Yep. Yeah, some pause and some slithers, maybe.
Yeah, true. So, y'all, without further ado, let's get into this. Oh, underground passage.
So, Mr. Lawrence?
Like a snake passage.
They catch up to us. I mean, we did leave the basement trap door open and all.
Also, you guys are moving quite slowly.
Is anyone else picking up on that strange smell?
We are close to an exit.
Oh, are they going to emerge at the cave with the dead tree outside it?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, it's that spot by the cliffs. So it could be like the Snake's Grove or something.
Yeah. Oh, I love that shot of him just flipping the boat open so much.
Satisfying.
Yep.
Hey, Mr. Lawrence, do you know what this cave is?
No, can't say I do.
You don't? This is the fabled cave that they say Lord Trurio had dug out to hibernate in.
This is probably the last place anyone would think to look for us.
Come on, then. Let us not undo good fortune with needless dawdling.
The old father that died was the snake god, maybe?
Humans are rather peculiar creatures, ever in need of something they can worship. That is why you keep me around, is it not?
Yeah.
Hey!
All right. Let's go.
I will say this once. Should you recoil in fear, I will devour you both.
Yeah. Help you disrobe. Yeah.
Are you waiting for a compliment?
Not too much flirting. The kids are here.
Oh, the music.
Yeah.
Nothing like a fine coat of fur to stave off a chill.
Let me know if you ever want to sell it. It's but a dream before the dawn.
Yeah.
Isn't that right?
Yes, I suppose that it is.
All right, hold on tight.
Fall from my back, you will ride in my teeth.
Yeah.
Oh. God.
Yeah.
Hold on!
Shit would be terrifying.
Yeah. Oh, we've already gone like, a few miles.
Halfway. We will rest till morning.
All right.
It would take a horse far longer to cover near as much ground. It should be safe for a time.
I will not be able to fall asleep. But yes, I will still cover you with my tail.
I feel as though I have become a mother.
My little pups.
If we see a giant snake coming over the hillside. Ah, okay, those are the people going to deliver the news.
Oh, so then they change their mind about leaving because they see men with weapons.
That's quite the procession.
Looks like they decided to return the weed immediately. They even sent an armed escort with it.
I mean, in that respect, it's not too big.
Yeah.
Couldn't you ask her to intervene and do something to stop all of this?
How would she do that?
Well, she could kill them.
But what then? What
Yeah,
happens
what
when
then?
anyone sends an army in retaliation for the massacre?
Right.
We can't fend off every army that comes. We can figure out our next move once we're all safe.
All right.
I'll do what I can to get you on your feet. I have friends there. They'll help.
Thank you.
Carriage belonging to a high-ranking member of the church
Okay.
Who's going with them?
to declare the village pagan.
Wait, pagan? There wasn't any crop light to begin with.
I know that just as well as you do. But the church will assert that it's because Terrio is a pagan village.
Wow.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, so they're making the travel along the opposite direction, but on the same road because they know the area.
Right.
But they've already now seen that they're on their way overnight. Mm-hmm. Now they're moving faster, but not anymore.
Is it true? Are you genuinely a god?
Oh. Little bit of a crisis of faith right now.
I live within the windswept wheat and can adopt the form of wolf and girl alike. Humans have worshipped me as a god of bountiful harvests.
Harvests? Are you Lord Truio?
You already know the answer to that, do you not?
Does that mean that
Do
God...
not ask me that question.
Elsa!
Yeah, whole world collapsing in more ways than one.
Yeah.
I have no intention of letting my father's legacy die. So, I'll carry it on in his stead. I'm heading back now.
Wow.
Okay.
Lawrence, my apologies. I still have a responsibility to the village church. And I will not abandon those in need.
Damn.
Evan, I hope you become a fine merchant.
Rip.
Mr. Lawrence?
Do exactly as Miss Elsa has asked and become a fine merchant.
Nah. He was always a pretty shit.
No matter how firm her
Traitor.
resolve may be,
Yeah.
she's still just a girl with the same wants and fears as the rest of us.
So are you gonna go back with her? Or not? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, should we?
Was I wrong to have left like I did? Was I
Oh.
wrong to have left like I did?
Yoitsu.
Whoa.
Oh.
I could have.
Fought for your home, bared your fangs in the face
Oh.
of calamity.
Oh.
My claws can crush granite like chalk. I could fell armies with a swish of my tail.
If you had stayed and fought to the death, all that'd be left of you is a couple of pages in an old book.
Whoa.
If you had heard that some moon-hunting bear attacked
Oh.
Yoitsu soon after you'd left, you wouldn't have spared a second thought before you raced back to fight it. But that's not what happened.
No.
Disaster came and there was no way you could have known about it.
And this meek, girl reminds her of that. Yeah.
So then, what explanation were you going to give if Elsa and Evan had come back?
Explanation for what?
Killing me?
Oh.
Oh, that I would have to.
Oh.
You wait.
It is too late to save Yoitsu from its ruin.
But
Terio's fate may yet be averted.
Okay.
Just a
How?
gambling merchant, you know.
I, however, am not just a wolf. They would never deign to believe a word we said.
Yeah.
Right. Unless you ate it.
Something short
Yep.
of a miracle.
Yep.
Miracle.
I
Yep.
have performed deeds beyond your human comprehension more times than I can count.
You see, accusations
Okay.
of heresy have been known to vanish in light of a miracle.
Right.
So, it's the church that decides just what counts as one.
Ah, and the churches go in there too.
Right.
Okay.
I will turn wheat into wheat. Was it just gonna grow?
Damn.
This should be sufficient. Well, what do you think? The only other
Tough,
thing
tough.
that would make
Yeah.
quite so strong a statement would be to show them my wolf form.
Right.
This is all we need. We'll have to find a way of transforming that bulk return back into coin for the village.
That is so.
I guess that'll give me an opportunity to demonstrate my own morale.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can see them doing the bro, like, you know.
Yeah, Right.
Yeah.
Oh, do not look so disappointed.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Hop on.
I've come with a plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool.
At dawn we mill.
Yeah.
We won't have to wait long. Bishop Mendez is traveling here himself.
Menendez.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Then we will go with your plan. I think I have an idea for how we can best exhibit our miracle.
Ooh.
Okay.
What is that?
She'll put on a show as if it's her performing the miracle
Right.
for the town.
Yeah.
If it is necessary for your schemes to succeed, I will roll onto my back, but only this once.
All right.
Love it.
Though if anything should go wrong, then just kill me before the hellfire takes root. I'd rather it be swift and painless.
All right. If it comes to that, then I will simply swallow you whole.
Here they come.
May the grace of God be with us.
Oh, come on. You're not going to show us the... Okay. All right.
Of course.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, they're going back.
Yep.
They've got a plan. They're going to pull off a miracle. It's going to be Holo, at the very least, instigating this.
Yep.
Whether or not it ends up being like Elsa taking the full credit for it, most likely will be. Whether or not it's going to be Lawrence kind of trapping them into something where they end up actually like also financially, screwed. And need to kind of work things out with the village.
Possibly.
There's a couple ways this can go.
Yep.
But I really liked in this episode how we focus so much on the character of Holo and what this decision means to her.
Yes.
Because Elsa is in some ways the exact opposite of the kind of person that she would generally like be inspired by or look up to in any
Right.
way. But the way in which Elsa went back here reminded her of her past
Yep.
and made her have to rethink her approach to that and maybe bring up the regret that she'd kind of shoved back down after all those
Exactly.
years.
So I love it. That's a way that they made it so that the lore stuff that we got about her
Yeah.
hometown was brought up in a way that was relevant to the arc, but then also to Holo as a character with a specific point of growth here.
Very specific point of growth. Very
And
cool one too.
because of that, it doesn't need to retread the territory that we've gone over in previous arcs of the,
Right.
oh no, what does that mean for the two of us, right?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just about Holo as an individual. So
Yeah.
love that. Love that.
I love that. Yeah.
I really like how Evan and Elsa are basically like how they were kind of used this episode, and now that we had this episode, kind of how like what they were for in the arc as a whole.
Right.
That's really fun, cool. I think generally it's still something though where the plots work better when it is more directly tied to Lawrence and Holo
Yep.
rather than just other side characters.
Yeah.
But for what it was, I think it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All in all, this is basically just something for Holo to have to face the past and come to grips with how she can move forward in spite of what happened. And
Right.
it was the past. She can't do anything about it
Yeah.
anymore. But she is such an old being. She is someone that carries all these memories and pains with her in order to be in a relationship in a way that isn't going to make those pains and memories define what you do and who you are today.
Exactly.
You need to resolve them. You need to actually address them directly.
Yeah.
And so this is an opportunity for her to do that. And I love the shenanigans that they seem poised to pull with the idea of a miracle,
Oh,
with
yeah.
growing wheat from the seeds, but
Yeah,
then
yeah.
also the potential way in which, Evan's worried about the blight stuff or taking him, or no, he was saying the hellfire, meaning like I think that
Yeah, I think he might be thinking that the priests will call down God's wrath or something like
maybe
that.
but what did they actually call the grain disease stuff?
Yeah,
as
it was
well?
some kind of that's the weird thing. So maybe it's probably something where the plan is a bit more complicated than what they originally intend, because it's not just something as simple. Well, it could be something as simple as perform a miracle, get the church to accept it as a miracle,
and then eat
Holo
the wheat that's
and then
there.
eat the wheat that, and say, and I purify the wheat, or I declare it to have
I
not
honestly
been,
think we're going to have a bread bake-off. I really think it's going to be something where she grows it, and while they're all stunned by it, he then grinds it up, makes bread, and it's like a whole thing, and then it's wait, this was such a wild day,
Yeah, exactly, right? Because the priest or the church isn't necessarily privy to the business dealings, right, with wanting to get them under the thumb of the other town. They might be, but it's probably more likely that it's just okay, cool, we have an opportunity to go after those heathens. Let's do it.
Yeah. And they're probably in bed with each other in some way, so it's just they don't really care ultimately about the economic side of things in any immediate sense. So they could need to appease both parties independently.
Right.
And that's why Lawrence is going to be really important here. But yeah, I can also see now why this arc was cut, basically.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, I would say, in their journey overall outside of the Yoitsu kind of revelations and stuff.
Right.
But even then, you could learn that stuff once you get to Yoitsu. But if they never end up deciding to go that direction because she's resolved...
Right, they know that Yoitsu's gone and,
they stop looking for it. Then it's well then why did they stop looking for it? And that's kind of important to have
Right,
there.
exactly. And then also even within that, the realization that Holo had here in that awesome conversation with Lawrence after Elsa and Evan had left, could that theoretically have happened sooner? And
or
then
later at any point.
Right. And then theoretically had this arc trimmed down, sort of, right?
But yeah, we're going back, and I'm glad, because I didn't really like the last episodes too much as far as the decision. It felt like they brought up some things about Lawrence's reputation and stuff that also just weren't followed up here. So I guess he was just fine sacrificing that, or was like, yeah, we'll let the important people know, the people that are affiliated with me know that it wasn't that, and they'll just have to take my word for it.
If we abscond and we're not there, then the town will take the blame instead of us, and who knows,
what have you.
But
Holo has a lot of regret. Holo has a lot of pain with this, and so getting to actually process out those feelings with him, and then when he just kind of held her behind her back and just kind of put his head on her head. I was like, no, oh my gosh, these two are so freaking cute.
The silent answer to the question that doesn't even need to be said, right? And I love it. Yeah. Also, this addresses one of the other things that I was like, hang on a sec. I was racking my brain trying to think, in the next arc, do they have the cart and the horse? Because I thought they had the cart and the horse. And
they're going back to get it.
They're going back to get it. Okay.
Yeah. That's funny. That's really funny.
But, okay.
But Elsa as a character is rather fascinating. The question that she was obviously going to ask is like, so wait, what are the gods then? What,
right, like if you exist and real? The pagan god exists, does my god exist? Not my division, right?
Yeah.
Today my jurisdiction ends here.
Is my god just the bear god, and we just attributed things to that, Who's to say? No, I'm not going to answer that question. I do love the a person of faith encounters being that defies understanding, and they're like, so can you answer all my deep existential questions? And it's like, no.
Right.
Damn it. And then it's
right. Like starting with the question of, which I think is a great one, of, are you a god? Right? And it's like, well, no, I'm Holo the Wise Wolf, but I have definitely been worshipped by a lot of people.
Right.
Okay. So that both answers my question and doesn't answer my question, because now it's just all these other different questions.
Well, no, it's logically you would deduce then that no gods are real.
Sure.
Because this is a being that the gods basically point out as like, no, this is evil, this is wrong, and it's like, well, why would you make such a hard stance about something like this unless you knew them to be real? and needed your thing to not be invalidated by that.
Right. On top of just the whole general idea of like, okay, belief in a thing that's beyond your understanding, right? That you don't necessarily have any evidence of, all that stuff, right? Then you see something that is beyond your understanding that you do have evidence of, and you're like, okay. Why can't I get that with the other thing then? You know, like...
Yep.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of fun. Like, mathematics are basically it's a whole bunch of agreements that we've made.
Okay.
With understanding things based on our limited perspective.
Sure, have
on
like
things.
the base principle assumptions
right,
where you're like, okay.
Most of mathematics is based on actual, like, oh, it's most likely this. But there's no actual, like, hard, like, detailed stuff because of the way the actual proofs work and stuff like that. So eventually you need proofs to prove the proof. So there's something about the way that the world works where the more knowledgeable you get about things, the more you realize that certain things are based around like a form of an agreement. It's kind of like faith, if you will. So it's kind of fun that in this world of fantasy, we're getting the actual evidence of a god existing, but by the god existing, that actually makes her believe less in her god.
Right.
Which is just fun because then it's there is something. There is something that you guys would attribute to me being divine, and that I'm like, I
can do all this crazy shit.
I'm a being that's clearly not human.
Right.
I can transform. I can make miracles happen.
Grow and all that stuff. I don't really age, you know,
Right. All that fit enough of the requirements for the humans to be like, oh my God, yes.
Yeah, exactly, right? And then it circles back around to the, not my place to say.
Right.
The real question is what are you going to believe and what are you going to do?
Right.
Right? Because at the end of the day, faith is a decision, right? And Elsa's actions, personal decision, right? Doesn't necessarily make sense to go back and help that, say you're going to help that town. Probably won't necessarily go well, but you're deciding to do that regardless. Okay.
Yeah.
And, oh, hey, that little act of faith, if you will, might have just swayed a god.
Right.
Right?
Pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Fun.
But that's gonna be for next episode. We've got we've got a town that needs saving because that was not just all the weed. That was an armed escort, couple dozen soldiers. There were armed knights that looked like way more serious with the priests and stuff.
Yep.
And an actual bishop that's going to be there.
Right.
Which I'm curious if there was like something.
So we didn't see them, but they were name dropped, and it was one of those things where
we know their name from before,
Uh-huh.
but there was nothing in this episode that showed them actual proof that this bishop was coming. And then he's just like, "Oh, Bishop Mendez is going to be there."
Oh yeah, that was kind of odd. Maybe they can just tell from the level of procession and the people that aren't in the carriage, you know?
Right. But he didn't say that when he actually saw it. So it's like, oh, that must be Bishop Mendez's thing, you know, or something like that. So it felt weird to me that when they actually looked at the procession together, like Lawrence and Evan, he made no mention of the bishop, basically. If anything, he was like, what's that? Like,
right.
Like he was the one that, like, let me listen to this part here. Yeah. Yeah, what's that?
Okay, Harry.
Yeah, a high-ranking member of the church. And then he's like, I know it's Bishop Mendez.
Oh.
Which is like, how you don't know that? Like,
yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, the little bits of like exposition that's given where it's like, probably better to say, probably I'd guess Bishop Mendez, right? Or something like that, right? Rather than it is Bishop Mendez, you know. But
yeah.
All
right. But
the armor looked cool for the knights that were alongside the carriage.
Yeah, they're pretty
that looked
cool.
badass.
But yes, I'm excited to see our team of 4 and what they can do working together. And
pull a scheme.
Yeah, I'm Elsa becoming a saint and being like, "Do you want to plant a wheat field?"
Right. Oh God, yes, bless this place, and then
and probably the weird feeling she's going to have of people attributing godliness to her
Right.
when she now knows that this whole religion stuff is bullshit.
Right. She declares Holo to have been like an angel of the Lord or something like that. That then shows up and yes, because of your faith, you know, and now whom, and then I don't know. Yeah. But that would be a fun way to basically like also shut up the villagers that are like, but you haven't done anything for us. And it's like, bitch,
I would have if you
I'm
actually...
a saint now.
I would have if you actually gave me some measure of respect, but you
Right.
didn't. So
Exactly.
you know what?
Yeah.
Get absolutely fucked.
Right. And then by all right, so she's a saint. And then also that Evan dude is absconding with a saint. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there
Yeah.
could be the way in which she actually says that this is Holo's doing. There could be ways in which she says it was Evan's doing. There's
Right.
all kinds of ways in which they can pass the responsibility,
Yeah.
if you will, of all this to them. They could even have it be our tavern lady, and
Sure.
And
Well, there were certain things that were said of like, yes, you know, the fairy and her story that was like totally just part of her business thing and all
Yes,
that
yes.
stuff. But then it's like, wait, are they going to pull a thing where it's like, no, she actually was like another kind of, special creature or whatever. But
who knows?
I
But
don't know.
y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the next episode's reaction and discussion right now, though, go check out the link in the description below for our Patreon. You get on early access there. You can watch full-length timer reactions there, and all this comes with Discord access, so you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about anime in general. And also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. See if any of that interests you. We'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb,
I'm Jacob.
and we'll see you all next time.